Okay, I got to just remember to record every day. Okay, so we're recording this, right? All right, I believe we're recording. I sure hope so. Oh yeah, okay. Great, so welcome everybody. Today is the first session of Ignite. Couple things, and we'll get to introductions here in just a moment. A couple things to know is that all these sessions are going to be recorded. So if you miss one, it's all good because you can catch up that evening or whatnot. I know some people have jobs. It is much more desirable to attend the classes live. It just it's a better experience. But if you can't make it or something comes up, you can catch it up. Watch that evening and catch up at the next live meeting. So why don't we go around virtually here? And by the way, we have a pretty small enough group that everybody can just remove themselves from mute. So don't worry about muting, unless you've got some noise in the background, in which case go ahead and mute. And you can turn your cameras on because it's just 8 of us and it's going to help all of us being in a classroom together. Let's see, before I'll introduce myself. So I think I know pretty much everybody in the call. Let's see, do I know everybody? Is there anyone I missed? So I'm Ed Marill. I'm the productivity coach for Keller Williams Larchmont. So I'm in charge of education, productivity, and all the training that we do at Keller Williams Larchmont, which is quite a bit. I also run a coaching program for those to get people up and running and to get them to a point of making about $200K a year in GCI. Before doing that, I was in your shoes. I was an agent from, most of you guys know this already. But I started my real estate career in 2000. That's actually not true. I started flipping houses back in about 95. Did that as a sort of investment hobby for a number of years. And then in about 2005, started doing that more seriously. And then in 2010, I started doing real estate full time and got into sales at that point. Did really well. I was on the East Coast, had a team of 4 agents, 2 assistants, doing about somewhere in, depending how you count it, whether it's my production or the whole team's, somewhere like 300K in GCI, and a lot of awards and blah, 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 good stuff. And then moved back to the West Coast, back to the city I love of Los Angeles in 2016, and did some more sales here for a couple of years, and then just kind of ended up in this coaching role, which I never thought I would end up in, but I love it and I'm enjoying it. It's a whole lot of fun. And so there you go. There's about me. So how about you guys? Why don't we go around and I'll take a moment to introduce ourselves. Give me 1 second here. How about Denise? Denise, you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, I'm Denise. I started real estate, I don't know, maybe it's been a year or so, more than that, I don't know. Before real estate, I was working for a digital media company. I worked there for I think 4 years. And then I wanted to do something for myself, have my own business, don't have to depend of a boss to tell me what to do. And I was oh, if I put all this work into a company that became bigger, and I was I can do that for myself, and maybe I should have my own business. And that's when I started to do real estate. Wonderful. And yeah, struggling here.
All good. Well, you're getting there for sure. Let's see, and give me 1 second here. Where's my list? There we are. How about Julia Hines? Now, Julia, I know a little bit about you because Star mentioned you. This is so cool. So you're getting ready to do a summer internship. Did I get that right?
Yes.
I think it is just super cool that you were doing this. My God, I wish I had done something like this when I was in high school. This is just so cool that you're here. I am super excited for you. You're going to fit right in. So tell us a little about you. So you're doing this as part of your summer internship in high school.
Yes.
Anything else you want to mention about you?
Well, I'm about to be a senior.
Yeah.
I'm here through Star, who's allowed me to participate in these classes, and I'm very grateful for that. Real estate is just something that I've recently sort of discovered that I really like. So I wanted to learn more about it and like what everything's all about. So yeah.
Wonderful. Perfect. Glad you're here, and you'll do well. Let's see, moving down the list here. So we've got Anna Thane.
Hi. I have been in real estate since September, I think. Before that, or I guess still, I do craft service for television and photo shoots. And before that, I actually made wedding cakes. I had my own business making wedding cakes. And the thing I realized I loved about both of those jobs was just talking to people and helping them figure out what they wanted and helping make what they want a reality. So I kind of figured I wanted to work for myself, and real estate translated into that. So yeah, here I am.
Wonderful. And how about Jessica Shin? Hey, Jessica, are you there? Okay, moving on. Let's see, we've got Amal.
Hello, my name is Amal, and I moved to the area like a year and a half ago, and I wanted to do something. My husband and I, we've been in the construction and real estate, different than real estate, like selling. So I wanted to do that part. So I started and joined the KW in January, but too bad, like in March we started the pandemic and it slows me down, even though I was excited to go on, but it's still putting myself every day, encouraging myself to go on, and I know I'm gonna make it. So I'll continue learning, and hopefully with your help and the group, I'm very blessed to be a part of your group. So I'll get there one day and be like Star and you and all the successful agents.
Excellent. Star, did you, on that note, did you want to say anything? Star's just wanted to, well, I'll let you speak, Star.
I'm just crashing. An agent here at Keller Williams Larchmont, and I'm just so happy to be with this office. You guys are all so lucky to have joined and be participating at this level with some of the most wonderful people who are here to help you thrive, teach you the right systems, and I coach with Ed. I couldn't recommend a coach, but specifically Ed more. He's just been wonderful. And if you haven't been on the 9 o'clock calls, I really urge you. It really helps with your mindset to just get you. We're all just in it together, and it's just like a yummy little family feeling when you're starting the day to just get off on the right foot, to set the right tone. It's been absolutely wonderful, especially in these uncertain times, to have each other to bounce off of and to feel like family. So I'm so pleased. I've been a realtor for 5 years at this office, and always so happy to help any new agents with any questions you may have. So just look me up, call me, email me. I'm very happy to help. I'm happy to be here. And I'm happy for Julia Hines to be on the call.
And by the way, so Star's going to hang out for a little while, and then she's going to drop off, but it won't be a long goodbye because she's, I believe, teaching the session tomorrow. So
Correct.
you will see her again before too long.
Mhm.
Perfect. Thanks, Star.
Thank
Let's see. Next
Thank
up,
you.
Eric Bailey. We haven't gotten you yet, right?
I've been doing real estate since the beginning of the year, and I pretty much just wanted to work for myself and see what I can do that way. Been learning a lot the last couple of months. As Star said on the 9 a.m. call, it's really helped a lot. Learning from all the whatever agents that's been successful.
Love it. Very cool. Elmas, we don't see you on video. Are you able to talk and introduce yourself? I see you as being muted too, by the way.
Yeah,
There you go.
I am able to talk. Thank you for letting me talk, actually. I was working with the logistic and transportation, international logistic and transportation business development. And then I decided to change my career to do real estate because I see myself more into real estate. But unluckily, I just started with pandemic, and it has been 3 months I'm in the business. I'm trying to improve and learn the market and of course the buying and selling stuffs. I'm trying to do my best. With kids is already hard for me. Yeah, I hope it's gonna finish that chaos soon and everybody gonna be normal and do their business.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Stay
Elmas.
safe, everybody. Thank you.
And last but not least, Mr. Michael Roland, you want to introduce yourself? You're muted, Michael.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm Michael. I just signed with Keller Williams Larchmont about 2 months ago. I got my real estate license this year, and it's something that I wanted to do for a long time. I've been a server for the past 10 years, and that was a great way to make money and pay bills. But I'm ready to start the next chapter of my life, and excited to be here.
Wonderful. Thanks, Michael. Okay, so let's see. Give me a moment here to see. So this is we're going to be doing hour-long sessions. So today's going to be from 11:30 to approximately 12:30. We'll stop at that time. So Ignite, this program you're in, this is a month-long training program designed to equip participants with the essentials to build a successful real estate business. That is so true. By the way, Ignite is well known in the industry. Like if you interviewed the top 1,000 agents all across America, probably half of them took Ignite in their first year of real estate. It's such a big fundamental piece of so many people's careers. Okay, the first 2 weeks of Ignite are called Spark. The overarching goal of Spark is for agents to get an appointment with a buyer or seller. Now we're in LA, so it's a little harder to get appointments here. There's just so much more competition. So, but we'll see what we can do. We might have some people here setting appointments here in the next couple weeks. This will set them up to sign a contract in the next 30 days so that they can begin to achieve the life they imagine in real estate. By the way, there's a PDF, a workbook that goes along with this class. You can print it out and read along and take notes in it if you want. You can also put it on an iPad like what I've got. Well, you can't really see it there. And then with a little Apple Pencil. So you can write on it and take notes right on your iPad. The only I don't say that to be bougie and to say everybody like to show off my iPad. Part of why I bring it up is because an iPad with an iPencil is a super powerful tool that you can use in many, many, many parts of real estate. So it is something you may not be able to afford it today or tomorrow, but if you can't afford it, you can get them. Don't buy it new, get it used on eBay for like half price. This iPad and this pencil I got for about, I think $400 total. So, and you can use it at buyer consultations and listing appointments. It's a big deal. That's the only reason why I mention it, but you can also just find the PDF. Does everybody here have access? Does everybody here know where to find that? Do we need to take a little time out here to go show you guys where to find the PDFs?
Where do we find it?
Okay, so hold on, let's find that right now. Okay, so I'm going to stop this sharing here. We're going to go to there. So let me share this. We're going to go to kwconnect.com. Okay, so here's kwconnect.com. This is really good to know for many reasons. You're going to use this for a lot of different things. One of which is all the classes we offer, they're all here, right? There's also like videos that you can watch here that's going on. Like there's like videos, live events happening here. Like once an hour, there's something happening around the country. Just, you can get lost in how much material there is in KW. But for what we're doing right now, you want to go to the top of, so you go to kwconnect.com, you go to the top under resources. KWU stands for Keller Williams University. And right at the top here, so almost every class that Keller Williams offers, with very few exception, they're all here. And you can download them anytime you want and page through it. There's so much cool material here. But what we're dealing with for today is Ignite 2.0. Don't use the old Ignite, use the Ignite 2.0 lab. And then scroll down a little bit and there's these big red buttons. You want to go to participant resources. And then here's the first 10 sessions are called Spark, and then the next 10 are called Elementals. So we're in this one here called Fuel. There's also, by the way, an Ignite toolkit that has a bunch of resources. We're going to talk about that. Spark number 1 is Fuel Your Career. And when you open this up, there's the PDF. So let me go back here. I'm going to take this link, copy it, and I'm going to paste it on the chat bar. So there you go. There's the link. So you want to save it because we're going to be going through this for the next month or so. Okay, so let me go back here to PowerPoint. Okay, if you don't have it today, you don't need to worry about spending the next 20 minutes printing it out. Just take out a piece of paper for today. You can go back and use it tomorrow. It's not crucial that you have it printed out in front of you, but it's just good to know that it's there. Okay. Okay, so this is a work. Ignite is not like your typical class. It's not just a lecture. This is a participation thing where hopefully you guys take part in it, and it's a working scenario where we all work together for the next few months. It's so the way that works is that we have a 9 a.m. call, the morning check-in. It's in all of your guys' emails and whatnot. You're welcome to go there and take part. There's a lot of more experienced agents that hang out there and share stuff. You're welcome to take part in it, all that kind of good stuff. At 9:30, that call ends. It's meant to be like a launching pad to launch you into your lead generating and making calls and putting together your marketing pieces, all that kind of stuff. But you don't have to hang up. You can just stay there on the Zoom call like Eric did today. And I'm going to be there, and you can put it on mute, and we'll all be there making calls together, right? So you're welcome to hang out and watch me make calls. You can listen in on me making actual real life calls. So yes, you'll hear me talk about all sorts of stupid things with my buddies and whatever, but there's a lot of business that's happening there too. That's me legitimately running my business. So you're welcome to take part in that and listen in, and you'll be on there too. I encourage you to leave your video on so that when you book an appointment, you can give me a virtual high five and be like, woohoo, I got an appointment, right? Or put it in the chat bar or whatever. And then at 11:30, that Zoom call just keeps rolling right along, and it turns into the class that you're in right now. So it's up to you. You don't have to do all of that. You can just drop in at 11:30 if you just want the lecture piece. But just so you know, the whole thing is intended to be a work environment where we all work together, and we're all talking about what we did during the 2 hours when we were lead generating when we open up the class. So that's the goal of all this. If you ever miss a class, these are all being recorded, and they're all going to be posted on our Keller Williams Larchmont YouTube public page at about, they'll probably appear about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock each day. So after that point, you can go back and listen to it and see what you missed. Okay, that was a lot of housekeeping kind of stuff. So every day we're going to be working on this goal of trying to get an appointment by building our database, practicing scripts, contacting prospective clients, and getting to know the market. So in 2 weeks, we're going to establish the core activities and habits that you're going to be using throughout your entire real estate career. We're going to follow up with returning agents on their activities following yesterday's class, what they learned from previewing listings. Well, not a whole lot of that going on right now. Reading the MREA book, watching selected videos on Connect, etc. Okay, so finally, we're actually moving on here. Next, we're talking about your big why. Your big why. You probably wonder, some of you may be wondering what that means. The big why is for you. Well, why did you want to become a real estate agent? What were your hopes and your goals? Anybody want to be brave and chime in with a little bit about what's your big why? Why are you here? Why did you choose real estate? There's lots of other ways to make money. Why real estate? Some of this you guys said on your intros, but anybody else want to chime in with a sentence or two about what is your big goal? What's going to drive you to keep you going towards a big goal?
I'll start. My big goal is that I eventually want to be flipping homes. And so I feel like starting out in real estate and getting the business side of it first and getting money for capital to start doing that. I feel like this is the best place to learn that all in. And I mean, I may end up liking this more than what I originally wanted to do, but it's definitely in the field of what I want to be doing. So I feel like it's a good place to start.
Absolutely. In fact, the wisest real estate agents will tell you that in your real estate, and this is news for probably most of you guys on this call, most huge real estate agents will tell you that you will probably make more money in your career as a real estate investor than you are going to make in real estate sales. It just happens that way. The longer you're around, the more you can't help dabble in you just can't help it. And you're going to come across deals here and there and be like, oh, hold on a second. This one I want for me. You'll be touring a home with clients or whatever with an investor. And they're like, yeah, I don't think I like it. And you're like, thank God, because I am making an offer on this week. Right. And that happens. And over time, you will probably make more money doing that than you will in the actual sales part. Okay.
I can kind of piggyback off of that. My husband and I want to invest in real estate. And so I figured being an agent would help learn the ins and outs of it and at least get us started.
I love it. I started by flipping homes, and that's how I ended up here, which is usually the other way around. But I miss it. I haven't flipped homes in a while. It's a long story why. But I'm probably going to get back in the next year or two. And it's so much fun. Anyways, moving on. So thanks for you guys. So this is what we're doing here. So let's take a moment and think about what does your ideal life look like? And I know it may seem like, wait a minute, hold on. I thought I got here because I wanted to list homes, and what are we doing here? But just trust me for a minute here. But think about that. Maybe take out a piece of paper. What does your ideal life look like, right? How much are you making? What are you doing for the people you care about? The people you care about, what are you doing for them? Are you providing college for kids? Are you providing, helping out your parents with assisted living and stuff as they get older, planning for their long-term healthcare? Are you planning for your own retirement? So we've got a lot of young people on this call, so maybe that seems completely out of reach right now. Hey, there's nothing wrong with going after cash and prizes too. There is nothing wrong with wanting to drive a Porsche in the next 5 years. I've been there. I've done that. I recommend it. It's very fun. But whatever floats your boat, maybe it's you just want a bigger life. Maybe you want to just, what is there a charity that you want to take part in and give to? Is there a cause that you want to do? I will promise you, if your goal is to help a charity, and to do some charitable things and come from a place of philanthropy, you will be able to do a whole lot more if you have a lot more coin in your pocket than if your pockets are empty. Nothing against like working for Habitat for Humanity and providing some sweat equity and helping out. I've done that, and that's super cool. But I will tell you, you will also be able to do a whole lot more if you've got deep pockets and can help out your cause. So take a moment, think about that. Like, where do you want to go? Do you want like a kick-ass wardrobe? Do you want to live on the beach? Do you want, like, one thing about this job is there is no limit to how much money you can make. There's also no limit to how many hours you can work either, if you're not careful. So we'll be talking about all these kind of things. Everybody have an idea there?
That's what I want. I want to have a big house and invite all my kids to be able to invite them, spend the time instead of them like going somewhere and having Airbnb somewhere. So I'll invite them over, a house on the beach, and then make more money and help others, my family and friends, to help them, and charity, to be able to really give to charity as much as I want. I give out like little here and there, but I'd like to have the opportunity to give more.
Love that. I love that. That's just beautiful. And Amal just had a grandchild. I hope you don't mind me sharing that, which is hard to believe because she doesn't look old enough to have a grandchild. But I imagine you want to have a home that's a destination, a magnet so that the grandkids come to you, right? So that everyone comes to your place, like
exactly, yes.
A big Thanksgiving table and a place. And let me tell you, LA is a great place for people to come visit. There's Disneyland and Universal Studios, there's the beach, there's Dodger Stadium, and every sport, every amenity, every type of museum you could want, we have it here in LA. It's just a wonderful place to visit.
Exactly, because we moved from Chicago, so now in LA it will be a destination for all my my family and my kids, to come to that area and be with us.
Love that. And this is important to establish your mindset and your goals from the very beginning, what we're doing here. So I encourage you today, after this call is done, maybe tonight for homework, like take out a piece of paper and just jot down some ideas of what do you want your life to look like. And don't worry about your drunk monkey hanging out on your shoulder telling you, don't dream so big, keep it in line. No, think bigger, go big. If you were on $1 Million listing and listing, $10 million properties on TV, like what would your life, if that's where you want to go, and maybe that's not your thing, but if that's where you want to go, what does that look like to you, right? So, and the reason why is even jobs you love have moments where you'll struggle to find motivation. And let me tell you, real estate is really fun, and it can also be really stressful. Like over time, hopefully you learn how to manage all that. But it can be super stressful, and it can feel sometimes like even the best agents. Now I was super successful, and I was like, I shot to the top of the 5% in my market fairly quickly. And I will still tell you, even as that was happening, there was moments where I was just like, what the F am I doing? Like, I used to make more money when I was in the .com world. Like, this is like, what am I doing? This is a complete waste of my time. Like, this is, I'm getting nowhere. That's what it felt like, even though I was in the middle of actually doing really well. But it still can feel like that sometimes, because this is a crazy job that has many hats, and you don't have a boss. So it's kind of hard to, that's why I have a job as a coach, because it's so hard to gauge where you're at in your career sometimes. It's like, it's like trying to run a marathon with a bag over your head. It's hard to know where you're going sometimes. Okay, during Ignite, you're going to learn a lot about the ins and outs of how to find and keep business. You'll learn everything you need to do to make a deal. The more connected you are with what you want to do with your success, the more you'll find that success. So this is a big exercise here, working on our big why. Okay, question for you guys. And by the way, this is a big class participation thing. So please don't be shy. Let's jump in. Don't be afraid. If we cut each other off every once in a while, that's cool. At some point, if it gets out of hand, we'll raise hands, but don't be shy. Jump right on in. Has anybody heard of a limiting belief? If so, how would you define it?
What's the question? A limited relief?
Limiting belief. Anybody know what I'm talking about when I talk about limiting belief?
Yeah, I do. I'm full of them. Like, I can't do that. That's terrifying. Maybe I shouldn't call that person. They don't want to talk to me. Right? Like, I could keep going.
Yeah, perfect. They're things that keep
the monkey mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and we all have them. And if you don't have them, you're probably just not in touch with them. But I promise you, we all have them at some level or another. And
We have them every morning. And every morning it's really hard to get rid of it.
Exactly. I love it. I love it, Amal. Limiting beliefs are ways of thinking that hold you back from success. As participants go through Ignite, they might catch themselves thinking things like, I don't have time to devote 3 hours a day to lead generation. Henry Ford of Ford Motor Company has a famous quote, if you think you can do a thing or you think you can't do a thing, either way, you're right. Henry Ford knew that your mindset is one of the factors that determines your success. As you go through Ignite, look for ways you're limiting your own success and remove the barriers you're putting in your own way. Connect to your goals, your big why, as Gary Keller says, to push through and achieve your goals.
I noticed that this morning because my boys play basketball, and they have a lot of basketball athletes that they're friends with. Like, you know, I don't know how they met all their friends, they have a lot of role models that are basketball players.
Yeah.
And they're so positive. And I was looking at their profiles today, and they have so many positive slogans that they talk to themselves every day. And they post, they say so many, like one of them was diamonds are made from pressure. That I saw this morning, just so many things. And I thought, you know, I don't even talk positive to myself at all. I think I talk more negative.
Right?
So I think I need to switch my mindset to maybe like to that kind of a mindset, like a winner mindset.
I love it. I write affirmations out almost every morning. I write them. All these things, they work their way into your mindset. You start to believe them after a while when you tell yourself something enough times. And the funny thing is when you're writing down affirmations, you don't even need to believe it as you start work. You just got to think about what do I want to believe? And then as you do that, you know, affirmations work over time. You just, you know, take a kid who's, you know, who's come from an abusive family situation, who's perhaps a young man whose father was always berating them, telling them, you can't do this, you can't do this. After a while, they start to believe that. That's the bad way. That's the bad way this works. But the good way that works is even you take that kid and you tell that kid, hey, I want you to write down 50 times a day, you know, I have worth, I can make it, whatever the affirmation is. Over time, it will overpower that voice that he heard for many years, which is beautiful. And we can use that same thinking at a smaller scale in what we do. Anyways, we're turning now to page 4 if you've got it printed out, but don't worry about it if you don't have it there. Maybe for tomorrow, see if you can have it available. But for now, we're going to this page here on the PowerPoint. Here's the secret to being a successful real estate agent. There is no secret. Success leaves clues, so we know exactly what successful agents do every day. Every day, agents do 2 types of activities. They grow their business, this on the left-hand side of your screen, and they run their business. These are the activities that will help you achieve your big why. Whatever it is, your big why that you're thinking about, these are what I'm getting there. This is it. it is not easy, but it is also not complicated. I don't want, like, getting, clearing $1 million in GCI a year is not an easy thing to do, but the path to get there is laid out pretty clearly in the Keller Williams models and in the things we teach and stuff. Like and it's not even just a Keller Williams thing. When Gary wrote that Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, he interviewed hundreds of the top agents in the country from whatever brokerage they were at and found out, what are you guys doing? What is everyone doing that's making them so successful? And that's where all these things come from. Everyday agents do two types of activities. These are the activities that are going to help you achieve that big why, those big goals that we're talking about. Every time you do any of them, know that you're doing it to achieve the life that you want. This is going to get you to where you want to go, these things here. So here's what we got on here. We've got for growing your business, lead generating for buyers and sellers. This is huge. This one point right here should probably account for about 40 to 50, especially when you guys are new, it's going to account for about 60% of your time should be spent doing this one item, lead generating for buyers and sellers. You may be wondering, what does that look like? How does that work? Well, we're going to talk all about that. That's going to be a whole lot of what we talk about. You're going to be learning about that for years and years. That's a huge, huge, huge part of your business. And that's something you do every day. Every day, that's part of your business. We also make seller listing presentations, right? We go meet with sellers and hopefully they decide to list their property with us and choose us to sell their homes. We make buyer presentations and hopefully those buyers decide to choose us to help them buy a property. And we also preview real estate. Now, this used to be so easy to do because here in LA, we have Caravan. Such a wonderful, by the way, when I was getting going in the East Coast, we didn't have Caravan. Like, it was on you. Like, if you wanted to learn the market, you had to like go out there and preview properties on your own. Like, you had to say, okay, this is the neighborhood I want to specialize in. There's 10 new properties. I'm gonna go make appointments and preview them all on Thursday. Like, there was no like, hey, we're all gonna get together and eat food and wander around and say hi to each other at the same open house. Like, it was, you were on your own and you just like had to make a point to go preview properties. But in addition to that, we also run our business every day. Whoops. Okay, right, still sharing? Yeah, right. You guys are still seeing that, right? I clicked on it and anyways. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, once we have a seller who wants us to list their property, we've got to market it and do all the things to get that home to sell. When we have a buyer who chooses to work with us, we're going to show that buyer properties. Eventually, hopefully, we do a lot of negotiating contracts. That's my favorite part of the business. I love contracts. We also do transaction management and closing. That's my least favorite part of the business. I just want to just like negotiate the contract and be like, woohoo, I'll see you guys in 30 days. My transaction coordinator will be calling you and taking care of everything from here on out. But it doesn't quite work that easily. Although as you grow, you do get to do less and less of this part. Vendor management, right? So we want to work with our vendors, making sure all that stuff is happening well. Setting goals. That's, I don't know if you noticed, but that's something we did here very quickly when we talked about our big whys. Our big whys. In a nutshell, we talked about our setting goals. Compliance and risk management. Anytime you ever see a contracts class for the next year, you should jump in there and take it. Literally, you cannot take too many contracts classes. In fact, you should all, the RPA is something that you should print out and read it like once a month for the next year, because just read it for fun. If you're having trouble falling asleep, just read it. It'll put you right to sleep. But yeah, it's important to know every nook and cranny of the RPA. You want to know it better than your client ever does. Okay. Attend training and get coaching. Oh, I take it back. This is my favorite one. You should definitely pay close adherence to that one. But now you get what I'm saying now. Training and coaching, it's not just getting a coach, someone who's like me. It's also like attending training like this. I will say, be careful with this though, because Keller Williams has a plethora of training and you can become a professional student in Keller Williams and not become a professional agent who's making a lot of money. So, you know, you do want to do these things like what we're doing today. Now, Ignite's different because it's something you're actually working as you're taking Ignite. But in general, just be careful. Like we offer Bold, there's Mega Camp, there's Family Reunion, there's all sorts of events you can go to, all great things, but you don't want it to be, you know, don't spend more than a few hours doing this each day. Like this is a part of your day, this is not where you spend all of your time for your first year in real estate. And lastly, managing your money. These are the things you do. This is what you do. This is what we're just going to learn. Ignite is really just taking these, 13 items here, and we're just going to learn them better and better. But this is it. This is your business. So congratulations. Here's the secret to how do you make $1 trillion in real estate. Okay. Okay, so what is Spark? Spark is what, like we talked about, it's the basics. We're going to be talking, there's those 10 modules, right? We're going to be talking about everything you need to do, starting with your sphere. We're going to talk about the tools you need, prepare for success, recap, and ahas. Okay, so, oh, this is cool. Here's Gary Keller.
Hi, I'm Gary Keller. This course will allow you to get off to a fast start you can build on. Because if you repeated the principles every 90 days for a year, believe me, you had an awesome first year. And just as important, you would have built the foundation and momentum for your entire career. It is practical, realistic, and easy to apply. It's about the fundamentals that determine your level of success in the business of real estate. From our research with top agents, we have found that they too started their careers with these fundamentals, and they continue to do them along with their teams to this very day. And it's not hard. It just requires a little focused effort, a few hours every day. Now, there is really just one way to achieve the goal. It's lead generation. Other skills are important, yet without leads to work with, your skills won't mean a thing. Dealing with business never takes precedence over what? Finding business. Never. Research shows that top producing agents make lead generation their #1 priority and the one thing they make sure they always get done. You can do this. And when you do, you will get the leads, the relationships, the experiences, the career, and the income that you want and deserve. Go get them, and good luck.
All right, so quick quiz. What does Gary say is our #1 priority?
Lead generating.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Yes, lead generation. Ding, 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 ding. We're gonna be talking lots and lots and lots about lead generation. I'll skip that. Okay, Ignite is 4 weeks where you'll have the foundations for success, including your daily success habits. Your daily success habits are these things successful agents do every day, including lead generation. The first 2 weeks are called Spark. Spark is your incubator for success, where you will learn how to set a successful mindset, lead generate, and get the confidence of a seller or buyer in your first appointment. After learning these foundations and developing some successful client relationships in Spark, you're going to move on to Elementals to learn the skills you need to take those appointments all the way through to a successful closing. There is a stat, according to the National Association of Realtors, 66% of sellers and 41% of buyers find an agent through a friend by referral. So I want you to do something right now. Does everybody have a phone available, your iPhone or whatever, your Android nearby? Everybody got there? Can you go into contacts? And when you open up contacts, just scroll all the way down to the bottom of the list. And there should be a number. It's going to look whoops. I can't. It doesn't want me to show you. My screen background is, it should have a number of contacts.
How many?
How many contacts? Everybody see that number?
Yes, I have 300.
300. Who else? Anybody else want to call out their number? How many contacts you got in your phone?
155.
155. Anybody else?
161.
What's that?
161.
161. Anybody else?
I have 163.
Okay, now take that
Mine.
number. Take that number and multiply it by 6%. 0.06.
Mine is 450. Oh my God.
Oh, that's wonderful, Elmas. So now take
Yeah.
that number of contacts you've got in your phone and multiply it by 6%. Who wants to call out what this new number is? What do you got?
9.78.
9.78. Who else has got a number?
9.66.
9.6. Anybody else?
9.3.
9.3. Anybody want to take a guess at what this number is?
How many appointments you have to have?
No, this number gives you the average number of real estate actions that will be happening in the next 12 months within your sphere of influence, within the people you know. Once you have that, now I want you to take that number. Anybody want to take a guess of what the average commission is in our marketplace? What do you think is the average price point in our market? In Keller Williams Larchmont, what is the average deal we sell? 1.1 million. What is the average commission rate? Percentage?
2.5.
2.5. So take 1.1 million and multiply it by 2.5%.
Like 2.5.
That's going to be 1.1 million times 2.5% should give you something. What do you got, Eric?
$27,500.
$27,500. Who doesn't like the sound of that number? Isn't that just a beautiful, beautiful number?
Too
27,000.
low. It's not enough.
$27,500. That is how much the average commission is in our office. Now it gets split up. You don't get to keep 100% of that, but not far from that. And the more you make, the more percentage you get to keep of that. So I want you to take that. Remember that we took our number of contacts in our database and we multiplied it by 6%. I want you to take that number, 9.6, it was some of you, 9.5, whatever that number was, I want you to multiply it by $27,500 and tell me the beautiful, beautiful number that you come up with.
So
I like
the 9.3 is the average number of transactions per month?
No, per year.
Per year.
That will happen among people in your database.
Okay.
And multiply that by 27,500. Who wants to give me their magic, beautiful number?
265,650.
Can you repeat that number? And say it slowly and beautifully, like the beautiful number that it is.
265,650.
That is how much money will happen in your database over the next, that is how much money is there for you to absorb and soak and put into your bank account from your database. Now I know many people are thinking, well, my friends, they're none of them make money and all my friends are all broke and none of my friends are, by the way, ding, 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 that's your first limiting belief right there for anybody who started thinking that. Many of you guys remember we had the Rookie of the Year from the region at our office back in January before everything hit the fan and no one could go into the office. That agent, anyone remember where he said he got his first deal from? This is Rookie of the Year last year. This is someone who had not done real estate before, and in his first rookie year, where did his first deal come from? Does anybody remember that?
From a friend?
Not even. It was a referral from his dog walker, right? So everybody knows people, and even if your people don't have much money, they know people who do have money, and they can refer you to those people when they hear of them having real estate deals. So $265,000, you guys just like, that's how much money is that's how much money is in your is in your database. Think of it as a data bank, not a database. I heard that in bold and I love it. I'm R&Ding that. You guys know R&D, right? Rip off and duplicate, right? So I'm R&Ding that. That's now mine. That's how much money is in your database. So that's why you guys have heard me many times when everyone's like, should I call expired listings? Should I door knock and everything? Yes. Oh yeah, great. Knock yourself out. Call. You want to do some cold calling? I will show you how I used to do that frequently. Before you do, I want you to think of your database as being, our job is to produce orange juice. That's your job. You're like a farmer who's producing orange juice. And I want to think of everybody in your database as being an orange. And right now, you're not picking the orange from the trees. They're just sitting on there and they're rotting away. $265,000 just dying on the branches of those beautiful, beautiful orange trees that you own. They're your trees, you own them, but the orange is just sitting on there and it's just rotting on the. Our job is to take all those oranges off that tree and to squeeze all 265,000 drops of orange juice out of that tree.
What if most of the contacts out of state?
Great question. And still, you probably don't want to focus on those people who are out of state because they're unlikely of doing a deal in Los Angeles, but I would not just dismiss them completely and not, yes, I would still call them, but you're probably going to call them and send them marketing materials. You're probably going to do it a little less frequently. You're not going to do a 36 touch with them, but you might do like a 12 touch with them, right? Yeah, so don't just delete those people. And by the way, I have a lot of clients, old clients from when I was on the East Coast. They're still there. Okay.
How do you not become the friend who annoys all their friends because they're trying to sell them something?
Great question, and we'll go into that. We'll go into that, all about that. Okay, we talked about that a bit. We can skip forward a little bit.
And you know, the referral from out of state is like 2.5% referral or 25%, right?
25%. So by the easiest
I did get
ever.
one.
It's almost criminal how easy it is to make money off of people referring out of state. It's, in a way, it's better than people moving in Los Angeles. I've got somebody right now, a friend that I know from before, who's moving from Charlotte, North Carolina to Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm getting a quarter of the deal on each side of that. Remember how we talked, now smaller price point or whatever, but still, it's like, I think each side of the deal is like $15,000 and I get a quarter of it. That's like what, $4,000 roughly on each side of the deal. So that's an $8,000 worth of referral dollars. Assuming this goes through and assuming they use the agent that I referred them to, that's $8,000 that will go into my bank account for an hour's worth of work, if that. So that's I'm going to be getting paid $8,000 an hour for that work.
So what do you do after you
does not make that much money?
After you do the referral? Do you do anything or just sign?
We're not going to go into all that today, but that's fun for another day. But I'm just saying that yes, people out of town are also good. Okay, so here we are. We're talking about this here. This is the likelihood of a move. So the average person moves every 8 to 10 years. Here in LA, it's more like 10 to 12. We're not going to go into that. Right after a move, the likelihood that they will want to move again is at its lowest point. But over time, they begin to be more likely to look at buying, selling, or moving. The peaks of the waves are the moments a person moves. So those peaks, those mountaintops there, that's when the person actually moves. The likelihood of a move then moves into a trough, but over time, the likelihood of move begins to builds back up again. So what do we say here? Think of adding 5 to 7 people from your sphere to the waves model. Who do you know who has recently moved? Who might be thinking about moving again soon? Who is someone in the middle, right? So think about the people you know, and think about where do they fall in this in this graph, right? How would you feel if your friends only called you if they wanted something from you? Would you feel like they cared about you? Now, do you trust people that think that you think care about you more with your money? Do you want to talk to them and do business with them? See, the point here is that you want to stay top of mind as their realtor of choice consistently all the way through this whole process, so that when they're ready to buy, you're the first. You've been keeping in touch with them the entire time, so that you're the first person they think of, because there's lots of companies like Zillow and Realtor.com and Redfin that focus on people right when they're over here. Where's my drawing tools? This is where, my God, it would be any harder. Okay, right here, this is where, that's not even good looking. Okay, so never mind that. That's where companies like Zillow and Redfin and that's where they all put all their effort, because they figure this is all wasted money for them. However, you, especially by the way, as newer real estate agents, you want to focus on people all through the process, because once you've been dealing with someone for a long time, they're going to have trust in you. They're not going to want to go through another company. They're going to want to go with someone they deal with. Okay. Now I can't turn this off. All right, there we go. Who knows? Oh, there you go. I was going to ask you, what does Ford stand for? What does Ford stand for? What does that acronym stand for? Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So this is a little shortcut. Now, some of you guys are like natural conversational people. You love having conversations. I am not. I need a little help. So this is always something good for me. So an easy way of having a conversation with just about anyone on the planet is that you can ask them questions about their family, their occupation, their recreation, or their dreams. Now, dreams is worded a little funny here. It's not like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Although you could ask somebody that. But it's also more specifically about just anything that's more future oriented. Like, for example, if I was on the phone with someone today, and I might say something like, so, our kids play together on South Bay Pony League. Is little, let me think of somebody on the team. Is Bailey going to be playing, is everything, are you guys, I hear of some things that are opening up for the summertime for baseball. Is Bailey going to play any stuff like that? Or are you guys shut down for the season, right? It's future oriented. It's things that they're interested in. Technically, you could consider that one family and recreation also, but in this case, I just mean anything future oriented. Hey, do you guys have plans since spring and summer was such a complete disaster? You guys have any plans that you're hoping to do come Christmas time or come the holidays? Whatever you're into. Does that make sense to everybody? You following along?
Yes.
Okay, now today, this is still annotating. Hold on a second. Share my screen. Okay, by the way, it is 12:30 here. Generally, we're going to stop right at 12:30. Are you guys okay if we go past like 5 or 10 minutes? The first day is always a pain. We have to set everything up and find PDFs and all that stuff. So it always runs slow. I should have known that ahead of time and planned accordingly. Okay, but we're talking here about some of the Keller Williams tools. Okay, so in Keller Williams, we have Command, which, think of this as kind of like your, that is your, what do you call it? Your database and your CRM, all rolled up into one. It's got marketing tools where you can market to people. It manages your transactions, right? In Command, you've got the virtual marketing center that's brought in from Command Market Center. There's a customer-facing website that you can use. There's an app that's branded to you that your clients can download. All of that stuff is all available to you. We're not going to get into that today, or are we? So here we go. Command is your integrated end-to-end Keller Cloud platform for running and growing your business, right? We just talked about that a little bit. I'm assuming most of you are going to want to learn to use Command, and there's a lot of great tools for that. You can go to answers.kw.com, and there's great videos in there for using Command. If you go on YouTube, there's a guy named Marty Miller, and he's got a 66-day challenge. It's a series of 66 videos that are all pretty short, like 10 minutes long, and they're meant to watch them one a day. And if you do that, at the end of a couple months, you're going to be an expert on all things Command. So I highly recommend you do that. Think of it this way. If you were a carpenter, you would really want to know how to use a saw better than your average dad who knows how to use a saw like me to just do a couple things, right? This is your saw. Command, your database, more than anything else, more so than even zip forms or DocuSign. Command is, or whatever your CRM is where you're going to spend 90% of your time whenever you're dealing with your business. So you want to know it like the same way a surgeon knows how to use a scalpel. This is your tool. This is your tool. You want to be a master craftsman at this tool. Okay. Start with your sphere. Okay, remember when I showed you guys that in KW Connect, there's a way where you've reached the Ignite toolkit. Remember, it's in your chat bar there. So in the toolkit, there's lots of cool stuff in there. Check it out. These are things you can use in your business. There's a resources job aid, a scripts book, buyer lead sheet, 4-in-1. Right now, this may sound like Greek to you, but we're going to cover all this stuff as we go. But just know that some of these tools are there available for you. So for homework today, in addition to going over your big why, I recommend going into the toolkit and just spend 5 minutes just going through and seeing what's in there and familiarizing yourself with it, because that's stuff that we're going to be using for all eternity. Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk about the 4 powerful habits. The daily 10-4. So throughout Ignite, we propose a challenge to you. The 4 powerful habits are things successful agents do every day throughout their careers. The daily 10-4 are the activities that support those 4 habits. These habits are core to Spark because they will help you get your first appointment. Start with your sphere. So remember, we start with the people in our database because there's $265,000 that's sitting in there, and we want to get to that as quickly as possible. You already have people on your phone. One great way to start is by adding those people to your database. You can bring them into Command. You can then follow up with a written note. So add those people to your database and use this as an opportunity to call them and connect or reconnect if you haven't spoken with them in a long time. Use Forward. Ask them about their family. Ask them how are they doing with this whole coronavirus thing. And yeah, are they going to think that you have an agenda? Absolutely. And that's totally cool. Yes, this is what you do. You work in sales, you work in real estate. So, they're going to be calling them from time to time. They're probably not going to have a problem with that. They're going to think that that's kind of cool, right? So this is what we want to do every day. We want to add 10 contacts to our database. It could be as simple as moving 10 people from your phone into Command. You then want to prospect with them, means you want to speak with them and catch up, reconnect, let them know you're in real estate, and you're now going to be able to help them if they know of anybody. It doesn't have to be like a heavy sell. And a great way to lead into that is ask them, hey, what are you, how's work going? Are you able to work from home, or what's going on? They will probably answer that question and then follow up and say, it's going great. How about you? What are you doing for work? In which case you'll now have a great opportunity to tell them, like, oh, well, that's part of why I was calling, is to let you know I'm now doing real estate. So if you know of anybody, I'm happy to help you. But either way, it's no big deal. I'm just happy to reconnect with you. And, we haven't spoken in a long time. Next, you can then follow up with a written note thanking them for their time and helping you to grow your business through referrals, right? And then the last part is previewing 10 homes. Now, normally we would be able to get out there and go preview 10 homes in person. But for now, here's what I would tell you. If you spend take you about 10 minutes a day on the MLS. If you don't have MLS access, just go on Zillow, figure out a neighborhood that you want to become an expert on, and just spend a minute on each home for 10 minutes, previewing 10 homes. What do you like? And think to yourself, what do you like about that home? What don't you like about that home? What would you change? And make note of the price. Be like, oh, that's interesting. This home is listed at this price. If you spend every day doing that in the corner of town that you want to specialize in, or that you want to become an expert in, I promise you will start. At first, you'll be like, man, is any of this stuff even sinking in? But then after a while, you'll be like, oh my God, like I'm starting to know I'm starting to know properties on every single block of my little corner of town. That's super cool. And remember, these activities, we call that the 10-4, right? The daily 10-4, right? Because there's 4 activities and there's 10 of each of them. This is things you can do during those 2 hours between the morning check-in and when we meet back up for a night at 11:30. Again, you don't have to do it this way. If you prefer to do your lead generation in the afternoon, you can do that too. But it's kind of cool to all kind of be in the same room together. And if it's annoying, you just put it on mute. But then whenever you have an appointment, you can put it in the chat bar like, hey, I got an appointment. Or when we wrap up and start up the actual class, you can put, hey, here's how many contacts I got, right? Just a way of just like for us to all connect as we go through it. Because this is not easy if you haven't, especially if you haven't done this before, it's going to feel a little weird. But this is what has to happen for you to start squeezing that $265,000 worth of juice, right? Okay, so we're wrapping up here for the day. Thank you all for letting us go long. Before we do, it's time for ahas. Any ahas from the group? Let's see if we can get one aha from each person in the group. Who wants to go first and be brave?
Encouragement. We get the encouragement. This is my ahas, that I get the like mindset.
Yeah.
This is my first thing, the monkey mind, get rid of the monkey mind, and that I can do it.
Love it. I love that. Who else? I will tell you, the quicker you go, the less likely all your ideas, all the best ones are going to be taken up. So I would be like jumping in.
How much money my database has.
Ooh, that's a good one, right?
I never actually knew what the 10-4 was. So this is actually really helpful to break down my lead generating. I never knew.
Very cool, very cool. By the way, now most of you guys are in coaching, so there's a tool we use for tracking these numbers and kind of things. But for anybody who's not in coaching or who wants to also take part, there's also a 10-4 tracker. It's a little tool for tracking your 10-4. For those of you in coaching, I will say don't use that. Just use the tracking sheet that we use for coaching. It's a lot more powerful and it's got other stuff in there. That's a great one though. Anyone else?
Yeah, my ahas is 6% of my contact. I didn't know that is gonna be my opportunity, 6% of them. It's really big number. Thank you for, yeah.
Good. Julia, how about you? Anything you picked up from the class you want to chime in?
Yeah, well, there's a lot. I guess, yeah, kind of like the mindset thing, because I do not always positive. So yeah, that's definitely something that's important and I have to work on. But yeah, also, I don't know how much the contacts thing applies to me right now because most of my contacts are people in high school. So, but yeah, definitely something for the future.
Julia, I will tell you that everyone on this call is probably just amazed that you're here and learning. Like, that is just so cool. Like, I cannot express to you like how much admiration I've got for you to just take part in this, and just like, it's really cool. It's like, I'm very impressed with you.
That's,
So, yeah,
yes, that's very great. It's good that you started early and you know what you want. I'm sure you're going to be a bright star.
Thank you so much.
And one thing I'll share with you, by the way, is that for the most part, Ignite is sales training 101. And sales training 101 is good for anybody in any career, whatever you decide to be in life. You know, hopefully you stay in real estate and you join us in this crazy real estate world we're in. But whatever you decide to do, real estate training will benefit you. I can promise you, I've had other businesses. I worked in the .com world as a product manager, and sales training is communication training. Like, it will benefit you in whatever field you go into. Anyone else before we wrap up?
When you're talking about your contacts, adding 10 contacts, does Instagram count? Your Instagram like if you make 10 new Instagram friends?
It counts if you bring them into your database, which would mean bringing them into Command. So yeah, you can have Instagram people and bring them into Command, and maybe they will be incomplete for the moment because they may not have a phone number and email address. But yeah, that is a contact, and it does count. And you can bring them in, and over time, the goal is to see if you can get their phone number and see if you can get their email so that you can communicate with them in other ways. That's a concept we'll talk about later on. But for everybody in our database, we may have just their email address or just their phone number. And so one of the first things you want to do is contact them and be like, hey, it's so great to reconnect. By the way, I've got your phone number, obviously, but what's your email address? Because I'd love to put you on my email list. I promise it's just once a month and you can unsubscribe. But I'm trying to get it going here, and it would totally help me out to send it out to more people. But that's great. That's a great one. So last but not least, Denise, you want any last one you want to chime in with?
I guess everybody already said almost the most important things, but maybe set up your goals, have dreams, where do you want to be in, like, I don't know, 6 months, a year. And then, because I feel like when you have that dream, you're working towards that dream. So I think you reach that goal faster than you think you will, because you're like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to make money because I want to get to that point in my life. So I think that's important to have goals and know where you want to be in, I don't know, a year or 6 months. It depends, like, how fast you want to get there. But at least have that dream,
I love that. I feel like we saved the best for last. So Denise, congrats, because that was my favorite one. And I think it's a great one to end on, because I believe that is absolutely true. I will tell you guys, studies have shown that people who write down their goals are approximately 80% more likely of achieving them than people who do not write down their goals, which means pen to paper, like write it down on a piece of paper, which means if you write down your goal, whatever your giant goal is, and I hope they are giant, I'm not saying that, I hope you do dream big. I hope your goal isn't that I want to make $70,000 this year. I hope your goal is like, I want to be the first true millionaire. I want to be the first true 7th level MREA model team at Keller Williams Larchmont, because no one is really there right now at Larchmont. So you can be the first one. That's a great goal. Like, whatever, knock it out of the park. Think big. Now you may not be able to get there in 12 months. That's a little bit. But
maybe one day.
Hey, and I have seen people. So I've been around Keller Williams for a long time. I've gone to a lot of events. I've seen a lot of people on stage, and I will tell you, some of the biggest. There is nothing all that special about the people who got there, other than the fact that they stuck with the models and they were very consistent and worked smart about how they did things. I honestly feel like you guys in this class have a big advantage over people who have been doing this business for 10 years who never really applied the models, because they have, trust me, I coach a lot of them, and we spend countless hours breaking down horrible habits. You guys don't have those horrible habits. You guys are like a blank slate. I swear it is almost easier for you guys to get there. When you watch these people on stage with Gary Keller at Mega Camp or whatever the big events are, most of them haven't even been in business for all that long. Like, it's not that uncommon for someone to be up there like just crushing it, making truly disgusting amounts of money, who have been in business for like 3 to 5 years. And that's not that uncommon. So there's a great book called 5 that talks about how you can get from just about anywhere in life to just about anywhere in life within 5 years. So be thinking of that. But I love that.
Yeah,
Having
I
those
think
goals is super powerful.
so just like a little comment. I think on ball, the coach, he mentioned this story. I think was one of part of the coaching I don't know season. I don't know the day, that specifically day that he was telling us the story of this guy that was on bowl. He was participating in bowl, and he wanted to be better and be in real estate, make money to help his mom, because his past was like really bad and stuff. He's like, no, I want to make money because I want to help people and I want to help my mom. And one day I want to have a helicopter because I don't want to waste time in traffic and all that stuff, And everybody was like, "Are you like, get out of here?" Like we're never gonna be that person. And then sure enough, years later, he was making all this money, and sure enough, he had a helicopter and he was like flying from one place to the other and helping people. And that was actually what he wanted: help people and help his mom. And he actually got to that. His dream actually came true, So
I love that. I love that. What a great way to end the class. I love that. Okay, guys, thank you for letting me run long. I promise we will try to wrap them up promptly at 12:30 every day. And I will see, hopefully you guys will be there at 9 a.m. and go right through. But if not, hopefully you can make it to 11:30. And if you can't make it for whatever emergency or whatever, know that these calls are recorded and they will be posted on the Keller Williams Larchmont YouTube. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you all soon. What a great way to start Ignite.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.